What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Renegade Jukebox on the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast Network. My name is Mike. I'll be your host for this evening. Joining me, as always, is the Super Saiyan death metal god, Nick.
Become the firestorm! Become the firestorm! It's dead and twisted and turned. Become the firestorm! Become the firestorm! I miss these guys.
Me too.
Oh, man.
For those who don't know, we are covering Machine Head's 10th studio album, Of KINGDØM and CRØWN. Before we get deep into this album, Nick, do you want to do a quick recap on our retrospective that we did earlier this year, just so everyone's caught up to speed?
Okay, so in case you've been living under a rock for the past 30 years, Burn My Eyes is one of the best debut albums in all of heavy metal. More Things Change, solid follow-up, not as good. Burning Red, Perception is Not Reality. Yeah, it has new metal-y bits here and there, mostly From This Day and Desire to Fire, but it's a dark, depressing album about how shitty Rob Flynn's childhood was. Supercharger is the band's worst album, but then for 10 years straight, they put out nothing but quality from albums like Through the Ashes of Empires, The Blackening, Unto the Locust, and Bloodstone and Diamonds. But then Rob decided to get nostalgic for the new metal days and put out Catharsis, which has its legit good songs on it, but it alienated fans and alienated literal members of the band to the point of quitting, i.e. Phil Demmel and Dave McClain. So now this is basically Machine Head 3.0, if we're being totally honest.
Yep. So this journey through this new album began as far back as, at least like in terms of public release, the first single coming out in November of 2020.
Yeah, that was the weird thing, which is why we kind of wanted to close out the Catharsis episode with just having Do or Die kind of being shat out, basically. Circle the Drain is just kind of whatever. The two songs on the Civil Unrest EP, Stop the Bleeding with Jesse from Killswitch Engage, it's not bad, but given the lyrical content on it, it deserves so much better, which I'm just kind of going, why didn't they release more stuff like Bulletproof instead, which I think is a way superior song to Stop the Bleeding. But yeah, then we kind of just get bombarded with singles either here or there until this year when we have a new Machine Head record.
Yeah, I remember getting so excited, like when I first listened to the single Choke on the Ashes of Your Hate. Hearing that for the first time, it made me say, to quote John Wick, yeah, I'm thinking they're back.
More of a paraphrasing, but yes, exactly. So to kind of reintroduce the band, so obviously Rob is always going to be the mainstay of this band. Jared is hopefully not going anywhere at this point because I like their vocal interplay that they're doing on this record. Spoiler alert. We also have Vogue from one of the best technical death metal bands on the planet, Decapitated, replacing Phil Demmel, which that sentence being said right now, God, that just made me feel dirty saying that. And last edition, Matt Alston, member of Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth side project Devilment, but he does not play on this album. Naveen Copperweiss of Entheos and Animals as Leaders fame plays drums on this record.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, blame COVID in this case.
Speaking of Vogue, I noticed that he's still in Decapitated, or at least was when they recorded their latest record, Cancer Culture.
Oh, Vogue is the main songwriter of this band. Him and before his brother VTech, RAP, before he passed in 2007, they formed this band when they were like teenagers.
Wow.
Yeah, so Decapitated, little brush up on history with Decapitated. They are one of the best bands to come out of Poland alongside Behemoth and Hate. They're ridiculously heavy. Their last couple of records with their current vocalist Rasta have been all consistently amazing and showcase the same guitar shenanigans without sounding too wanky. And just, it's like if you took Lamb of God and Cannibal Corpse and aborted and threw them in a blender, and boom, you have this band.
That sounds delicious. Now,
Yes,
the
it
reason we're
does.
taking this digression is because on their latest album, Rob Flynn makes an appearance on the song Iconoclast. I didn't have a chance to re-listen to this since I spun the album, but you just listened to this recently. Your quick
Oh,
thoughts?
Spoiler alert for if we do a best albums of 2022 episode. Cancer Culture by Decapitated is like one of my favorite albums of the year. Like, it's, again, showcases the same amount of talent, great songwriting, and just infectious death metal that I always ask for. And just the more technical aspect of it just kind of like adds extra icing to the cake. But we have to mention this because Rob's vocals on Iconoclast really could have nuked this song out of oblivion and just stopped it from having the same impact or being as heavy as it could be. The best way I can describe Rob's vocals on this song, to be honest, it's like an actual phoenix rising out from the ashes. It's, oh my God, like, it kind of is just one of those songs that deserves to be heard on repeat, along with Kill the Cult off of the last album. This is like one of my favorite Decapitated songs, just for how ridiculously heavy and how insane the guitar work is from Bog. And honestly, Rob's vocals here really kind of remind me more of like Through the Ashes of Empires. Like, if you had told me he recorded his vocals back in like 2003, I would totally believe it.
Wow. So it's pretty clear that like this track is like what I imagine a lot of Machine Head fans kind of ate up as the little bit of hype before first single came out for the actual album.
Yeah, because Cancer Culture actually came out, I want to say, a month after Choke got released as a single. But no, yeah, just go listen to Iconoclast. It really is kind of a really good teaser before being thrown into Of Kingdom and Crown, because I mean, I think it's safe to say, guys, we were too premature to write this band off after Catharsis, especially knowing that Phil Demmel and Dave McLean, who are sorely missed on this record, but if it's a sign of things to come, we'll see you in 4 years when we're tongue kissing the next record.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get right into just looking at the track list. I can already kind of tell that Slaughter the Martyr is the best way to start a new Machine Head record.
We should totally prefix this before like we tear into the music, though. This is a concept record.
Yes. And it's a concept record with two, I don't want to call them villains, but
they're not anti-heroes, but they're not villains either. The way Rob would put it, because he got influenced by watching Attack on Titan with his two sons during COVID. So he kind of got the idea of, he was originally writing it as just two main characters that defeat the bad guy and good wins in the end. And he was just like, this is passe bullshit. So after watching Attack on Titan and kind of going like, damn, all of these characters are awful people. What if I made these characters awful people who think that they're justified in their actions? Holy shit, concept record.
And that's honestly a great concept.
Yeah, so Slaughter the Martyr introduces our main character, Ares. This is his origin story of him losing his girlfriend. And before like we really tear the band-aid off on the lyrics, how about we just kind of like build into it the way the music builds into it? Because honestly, this really could have come off as boring with this intro.
It could have, but I think I really appreciate how the song kind of takes its time, giving us this sort of false sense of security before the heavy part kicks in.
Yeah, because it's like 3 minutes before any heavy riffage or distortion comes in. So I'm just kind of going there, okay, where is this going? Because it's just like kind of a cleanly plung and more somber sounding intro, kind of a la clenching the fists off of Descent off of the Blackening. But then you're just kind of going like, holy shit, Rob and Jared are doing like the vocal trade-off shit that him and Adam used to do back on the older albums. It's like, okay, this is more feeling like an authentic Machine Head album, just kind of like if they just continued the direction off of Bloodstone and Diamonds and Locust.
Jared's backing vocals, they complement Rob's very nicely.
And then the song starts beating your ass with the heaviest riffs on the planet.
And that's when you know Machine Head is back.
Yeah, as soon as Rob just screamed at the top of his lungs, "Slaughter the Martyr," I was like, you're not gonna wipe the grin off my face for the next hour, are you? Man, just how the band just manages to make 10-minute songs just this captivating just kind of reminds me why I started loving this band in the first place.
Same.
And just the way it kind of, I don't know how you would describe it. Doesn't sound derivative of the Blackening, though. It doesn't sound like it has that quite the same twin guitar. Like it has the twin guitars, obviously, but it doesn't have like the same, what some people have called Machine Maiden type guitar work that you saw on the Blackening and Locust.
At their best, they have this talent maintaining quality without repeating themselves. When we were like comparing, say, the Blackening with Unto the Locust, I couldn't really give a straight answer of which one was better because they're both different and they're both great. And that's kind of how I feel about this album so far.
Oh yeah, even with the more melodic, methodical build to the intro for 3 minutes, it still manages to keep your attention. And even when it just launches into that, I'm gonna actually say it because it's weird to say, but I'm gonna approve it, that arena-sized chorus, which, man, I really wish I could go see that tour in Europe with Amon Amarth and the Halo Effect.
Oh my, that sounds like a great lineup right there.
Europe, why do you get all the good tours? Why? As much as maybe it might bore some people to have a 10-minute opening song in your set list, I would just be enthralled the entire time.
Oh yeah. Now, 3 minutes in, the heavy part kicks in, and yeah, they don't really take their foot off the gas.
Like even when it launches into the goodbye, say a prayer part, don't you cry, like when it just launches into that melodic guitar part towards the end, I'm just like, I'm gonna love this, aren't I? I'll let you take the reins on the next one because all I'm gonna say for right now is let's fucking thrash.
That's really all you need to say about Choke on the Ashes of Your Hate. It's just fast, it's heavy, it is Rob like pissed off. This is like, for a first single, this is exactly what you want to hear. If, say, you're a casual fan and haven't really listened to the band in a while, and then, say, you're listening to serious liquid metal and this song comes on, it gets your attention.
The only problem is that this should have been the lead single, though. But nonetheless, my entire feelings on this, I just couldn't help but go like, this is the perfect way to introduce a new record. Like it doesn't lay off the gas pedal again. It just, it's nonstop thrash. Like the fact that a lot of the riff ideas came from Rob doing an anniversary tour for Burn My Eyes in 2019 and was supposed to go throughout 2020, but again, fuck you, COVID.
Yeah.
With this, it just kind of feels like, man, Machine Head are just back to just assaulting you with riffs the entire time, yet not making it feel wanky just because, again, Vogue is from a technical death metal band. But at the same time, the intensity and the melody is just still there and just so well done that if you're a metalhead, how can you not love this song?
I want to take a moment to sing the praises of the session drummer, Naveen Copperweiss.
Copperweiss, yeah.
Because, yeah, he's like at least 25% of the reason why I love this song.
Yeah, there's like even subtle blast beats on a Machine Head record.
That's something like I never thought I would hear, even in their heaviest moments.
I mean, like, yeah, there is This Is the End off of Locust, but at the same time, like, we've never heard like a full-blown death metal section in a Machine Head record. I don't have anything else other than the highest praises to say other than, yeah, this song kicks ass. Go listen to it. Much like the next song that I referenced at the beginning of this episode. Mike, cool if I take the reins on this next bit.
The floor is yours.
So we've kind of alluded to this quite a bit. One of my problems with this album, and it's not even necessarily the song's fault, I didn't really like the rollout to this album because the first single literally came out in November of 2020, and it just kind of feels like they started recording it around the idea of putting singles out because Become the Firestorm, we even referred to this at the end of our Catharsis episode, was they released an EP called Arrows and Words from the Sky, which we'll get to that song once we get further into the track listing. But they released that as a single and marketed it as a single with two other songs basically introducing it. So the first song was Become the Firestorm, then Rotten, then Arrows. But this was the first time I really felt like, holy shit, Machine Head's back. And they're super heavy.
Now, fun fact, if you check Spotify, that EP is no longer there, probably because we have the full album now.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, no need to basically con Spotify plays.
But that being said, I totally agree both how the rollout for this album kind of deflated even like the best songs on this record, but also that the song kicks all of the ass.
Oh, literally, the first time I heard it, I literally I needed to stop for 2 seconds just so I could be like, Machine Head's awesome again. And they're doing it without Phil Demmel and Dave McClain in the band. I'm like, okay, well, sign me up for the next record whenever it comes out.
Seriously, was this the first track that Vogue recorded with them?
No, we will get to those 2 songs, but it wouldn't surprise me if, because it sounds like because of COVID, that's why they got Naveen Copperweiss to play drums on this, was because Matt Alston lives in the UK and Vogue lives out in Poland, obviously. So I think they tried to do whatever they could remotely. It's kind of a bummer they didn't pull what Arch Enemy did with their most recent album, Deceivers, where Jeff Loomis recorded all of his guitar parts in Seattle while the band literally recorded in Sweden. So I kind of wish we got a little bit more of that interplay between Rob and Vogue, because man, this is a sign of things to come on future albums, man. Because like this song, for as heavy as it is, its chorus is infectious. Like the choruses on Catharsis were catchy in the sense that, God, this is so mind-numbingly stupid. But here it's more just like, these are genuinely catchy songs, but they're not poppy either.
That's a balance that is hard to capture, but Machine Head seems to find that sweet spot.
Yeah, exactly. And Become the Firestorm, like even at the song's most riffy, another one of my favorite parts is just where it kind of, I wouldn't want to say it slows down or mellows down, but that little clean tap solo section right in the middle before the solo, which I've really got to say, this Rob has improved so much as a guitar soloist. Like, I have no idea if it's him or Vogue doing the solo on this, but just from him doing all of these electric happy hours on their official YouTube and Twitch page, you can really tell that he's stepped up his guitar game.
Nice.
Anything else you want to add? Because yeah, just go listen to Become the Firestorm. It kicks ass. Add it to your gym playlist like now.
I don't really have much else. I think we kind of covered enough ground there. I'm gonna lump in tracks 4 and 5 because Overdose is just an interlude, which leads into My Hands Are Empty, the first ever single released, like we said, back in 2020.
I'm actually going to stick up for this interlude, though, because it actually does benefit the story, because this is where we get introduced to our second main character, Eros, who spirals into depression after his mom suffers a overdose and dies. So just in terms of album, one of the things I really love about this record is the album flow, which the fact it manages to keep your attention even with these interludes here, the fact that they were so successful with it and they shouldn't have, again, goes to show you that maybe a lot of people were premature to write this band off and kind of dismiss even the best albums that they've ever made, which I found absolutely idiotic. But nonetheless, one video I saw from the Metal Triss on YouTube, I actually kind of have to agree with him to some degree. It feels very Operation Mindcrime-y, these interludes. Because I mean, it does kind of seamlessly flow into My Hands Are Empty, which Mike, I'm not gonna front, I do think this might be my least favorite song on the record.
I think that's more than fair.
Which sucks because Logan Mader apparently had some musical contributions to this song.
Learning that, it almost doesn't compute, because like you would expect him to add a bit more flavor to the track, and instead it just kind of feels, I hate to use the term, it is a bit empty.
For me, when I first heard this song, I couldn't help but think of one friend of mine who, he's not a Machine Head fan, but in this sense that, and I've personally never understood it, but I could totally see him just not being into this song for this reason alone. The reason he told me he wasn't into this band was because, and I quote, they stop being heavy in a lot of places. And I never have seen that or understood that really. But with this song, yeah, I can kind of see that, because it starts off with this big melodic whoa section, and then launches into this heavy riff, and it's like, okay, I can kind of get into this, and then just launches back into that for the chorus. And one of the other things that I'm not as big into, and despite us singing the praises of Jared on vocals here, why are you auto-tuning him? We totally know he can sing.
Exactly.
Like, the Ghost Will Haunt My Bones still exists, Rob. You play it on Electric Happy Hour all the time. Like, whose idea was this? There are parts that I genuinely really like, and I can appreciate the song a lot better in terms of like listening to it as a whole album. But really, probably my favorite part of the song is honestly when it gets into like the guitar harmony section in the middle before the last chorus. That's probably the highest praise I can really sing of it.
Otherwise, this does kind of sound like the octane of the album.
Maybe, but even I can't help but go, Machine Head would be way too fucking heavy for Octane. But yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from with this. It's not that it's a bad song or it deflates the album necessarily. I think it again does work in terms of the context of the story, but at the same time, if I can hear other songs off of this record instead, I'll go listen to those.
Such as the next one.
Oh, yeah, this is where I stopped with the singles because I was like, I am not spoiling this album for myself. Unhollowed got released as a single at least 3 months ago, and I just was like, I do not need to hear more until I hear this record, and especially knowing that this is one of the songs Bog contributed musically to. So when I first heard it, I definitely liked it, but I was like, let me listen to this album some more first.
Then the more you listen to it, the more you're like, oh, okay, so yeah, I get it now.
This is like if you took Killswitch Engage and combined them with Testament.
That is scarily accurate.
Yeah, just because, like, again, this is basically revolving around the chorus, and in terms of the album's concept, it's still continuing Arrow's depression after his mom dies. Man, it's not a ballad, but it's emotionally captivating in its own way. It's kind of like the end of Heartache by Killswitch, but then all of a sudden, just in the midsection of the song, it just launches into a thrash part and just tears your face off with amazing guitar work. This would probably be one of my favorite non-singles on the record. And that's the other thing that we probably should praise about Rob, his vocals on here. Like, his clean singing has gotten better too.
It absolutely has.
I mean, like, we know that he was taking singing lessons for Locust. I don't know if he did for this album in particular, especially with the pandemic and everything, but man, does he sell these choruses like he did on like any of the 2003 to 2014 albums.
Like, even as we speak, like, the chorus is still stuck in my head. That's how good it is.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing, too. This song could come off as a whiny metalcore song in lesser songwriters' hands.
Thankfully, though, it's in the right hands, which is how we're able to get, like, you know, the slower sort of mid-tempo stuff with the thrash portion, and none of it feels disjointed.
No, it's not a jarring listen at all. It's not just like you get some ballad and then all of a sudden it launches into a death metal part. But yeah. And again, Robin Jarrett's vocal trade-offs are just so good on this song in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Like especially after it does the whole thrash section and the solos, just the way it just launches into that melodic bridge and then goes back into the chorus. This is what I come to this band for. Assimilate is the next interlude on the album, and I honestly don't think it's as captivating as the way Overdose was, but at the same time, it does kind of serve as the best possible way to introduce Kill Thy Enemies.
Kill Thy Enemies is awesome.
I'd say it's the opposite of Unhollowed. It's the super heavy song, but it kind of has this utilitarian groove to it. And then the big melodic chorus, that's the slower part of the song.
Yep.
If that makes any sense. One complaint I heard about this song, though, and as much as I do enjoy the Metal Meltdowns videos on YouTube, I kind of have to disagree with him about the whole white privilege line in the first verse. That didn't bother me here.
What exactly was his complaint?
That he used the phrase white privilege.
Oh.
Bear in mind, he's not some right-wing shithead that goes, Machine Head are fucking posers because they're left-wing. And it's like, dude, they were always a left-wing band. I mean, did you literally just forget Burn My Eyes and The Blackening exist? Or are you too busy praising those? And then because Trump got popular and everybody was like, no, this guy's a douchebag. And then you just decided to be a fucking contrarian.
Some people.
Oh, yeah. Lyrics are important, kids. Anyways, back to Kill Thy Enemies, though. Yeah, like I said, the whole white privilege line in the bit, especially just knowing that it's about I'm purely going based off of the Wikipedia page on this one. Knowing that it's about arrows joining this kind of militant rebellious group, it kind of makes perfect sense when you think about it, because like if you are going to show like two separate sides that are thinking that they're doing the right thing here, where in this case Arrows kills Ares' girlfriend, it's like that makes total sense. And again, just the fact that the storytelling 8 songs in is just this captivating just shows that Rob clearly is a talented songwriter and knows what the hell he's doing.
It would be kind of interesting to see Rob maybe like adapt this story into like other media, kind of like the metal version of Daft Punk's Interstellar 5555.
I get where you're going with this, but at the same time, I do not want this to get turned into American Idiot the Musical.
Fair enough. I don't think I want to see that necessarily. More so what Daft Punk did because, me being the animation guy.
Or just like even do like a really solid action movie. That I wouldn't be opposed to.
That would be pretty cool.
As for that, riffs, badass, drumming, badass. Oh, we haven't really discussed production either.
Yeah, I don't know how constructive my comments will be, just that the production sounds crisp. It sounds as good as any like modern metal album can get. This is produced by Rob Flynn with Zach Oren.
Yeah, Zach Oren. He produced the majority of the All Shall Perish albums, and he does a lot of work with like most of the technical death metal bands now. And he actually was the producer on the last record, which that's the other kind of shocking thing too, is that it has a lot of the same people behind it, except in this case, Rob had the decency to get Colin Richardson to mix this.
Good. He was needed.
Oh, yeah, like one of the most celebrated producers in all of heavy music. I mean, Colin Richardson does not do a lot of production anymore.
Is he like basically retired?
Kind of. I mean, like the last real big album that I remember him doing like any production is In Waves by Trivium, but that's 11 years ago now. Which, God, that hurts to say.
I know, right?
Man. But yeah, just all of these songs just sound like, again, proper Machine Head songs, but they still sound like they have dirt under their nails, even with the technicality, and they feel like they're being played by a live band.
Yeah, they do.
And next track, which some people might go most typical title ever, but when I first read it in the track listing, I just said it's got to be better than Arch Enemy's No Gods, No Masters.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to remind you of Chaos Legions. Yeah, the less said about that album, the better. Not sorry, Angela Gasso fanboys. Anyways, this No Gods, No Masters, this is Radiotastic Machine Head done correctly.
And funny enough, this was a single released the same day as the record.
I can be more excusing of that because I can have the opportunity to listen to the album first.
Yeah.
Which again, as radiotastic as it is, it doesn't let the foot off the gas pedal, and it doesn't really stop being heavy despite being as melodic as it is.
This is kind of like the balance that Machine Head like has almost perfected, where if 1 was like easy listening and 10 is like 90s Cannibal Corpse, they always seem to maintain a 7 or 8 on the heaviness scale, even when they are in that radiotastic mode.
Yeah, because like this chorus, I was even just telling you off air. All of a sudden, like one random night, I think I was just watching Futurama, and then all of a sudden, I just could not stop going the whoa, God's no masters. I just couldn't stop doing that for whatever reason, and that's the sign that Machine Head know how to actually write a good hook, and that it's not just, it's again not just some generic cookie cutter metalcore designed to get played on like the Octanes or something.
Yep.
The song that I prefer though is Bloodshot.
Oh yeah, Bloodshot's another one of those just really good, really heavy songs. I just have in my notes, heavy as shit.
That is apt. In the one thing that I do just kind of find a little bit weird is that they try to do a whole burn my eyes guitar squeal kind of thing that they would do on that record, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel as thick or full the way that album does when they do that there. But at the same time, just the fact that the song is as heavy as it is, that it just kind of thrashes around for about 4 minutes. The fact that Vogue is contributing to this song, how can I not love this? It's the best way I can describe it is it sounds like if Grind You Down off of Catharsis wasn't just there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, again, even despite my minor nitpick about the song earlier, like it just kind of perfectly launches back into, and plus they do reference the whole guitar squealing bit throughout, like right as before they launch back into the chorus. But again, the fact that they just do not let off the gas pedal while still writing an infectious chorus the way they do. And lesser songwriters would fuck this up royally, but here it just works. And I know you said this too, that you could totally see people using this as like AMV music, but honestly, I kind of wish this was in like a proper R-rated action movie.
Yeah, these songs are perfect for that sort of genre.
Yeah, it's riffy, it's heavy, it's proper Machine Head. And that's the other thing too that I'm just realizing now. It just sounds like proper Machine Head again, but it just doesn't sound like they're resting on their laurels either.
Yeah, like this isn't a copy of The Blackening, it's of Kingdom and Crown. It's not trying to outdo Unto the Locust, it's just being its own thing.
It doesn't even sound like it's just trying to ape off of what Burn My Eyes did either. So we get a song that Rob did compare to Burn My Eyes, though. It was supposed to be called Rotten to the Core, but I trim a little bit of the fat. Just call it Rotten.
Yeah, Rotten is just a cleaner title. Like, sure, the chorus is great. This is just a really solid groove metal song.
My favorite part is actually probably the middle bridge section with the clean vocals, and then when Rob does the "Will you stand beside me" bit, and then "Oh come on," then riff.
I can hear some of the Burn My Eyes comparisons.
Yeah, again, it's just another really solid heavy tune. Like I mentioned earlier, talking about Become the Firestorm. This was also on the Arrows and Words from the Sky EP, but not an EP. But I don't really have too much to say about Rotten. It's just another really solid heavy track. Just knowing the song in the context of the rest of the album, it kind of just fits in the track list like a glove, I guess.
Yeah. We kind of touched on this before, but the album arrangement is one I can't say there's a single track on here I would like replace with another in terms of like how it's arranged. It's just perfect the way it is. And yeah, part of that is because this is a concept record. So all the songs are in story order, but still.
Which, if one song doesn't work in the context of the album, it just kind of deflates how massive the album should feel. Which, this is where we get to our final interlude. And I think Terminus is probably the perfect interlude to lead into our final track, especially because the next song is just one of those 6 out of 5 Machine Head songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the title already. Arrows and Words from the Sky is a fucking masterpiece. It's one of the best things this band has ever written.
But I cannot stress enough how much more effective it would have been had this been the first time that we heard it.
Oh, definitely. Like, I kind of also said this off air too. It'd be kind of like if you heard Descend the Shades of Night a year before Through the Ashes of Empires came out, or if you heard A Farewell to Arms off The Blackening like 2 years before that album came out. I just kind of am like, man, if they didn't spoil the impact of the track, and it's not the song's fault, but it's just, I kind of can't help but go, man, how many goosebumps would we have had hearing this was how they decided to end? And I'm kind of like, that's how they end the not EP, as I'm probably gonna call it from here on out. But yeah, this, I could, when I first heard it a year ago, I couldn't help but go, man, this is a perfect album closer.
It sounds like it because it is, but it does sound like a good, like the perfect album closer.
Yeah, and just even the lyrical content, it's that poetic Machine Head that I was missing so much from the last album, that I just kind of couldn't help but go, man, this is the Rob Flynn I missed on album. Like, more of this, please, because I know you're capable. That's why I said throughout the Catharsis episode, I just couldn't help but go, I know you are better than this. This song is proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the solo is just ripping. And again, in lesser songwriters' hands, the clean melodic bits, they would deflate the song so much. They also don't have whiny voices either. That also probably benefits things.
Oh yeah. Any other band would probably fumble with the clean vocals, but to have guys as talented as Rob and Jared handling them, it results in something special.
Oh, yeah. Before we really close things out, I guess, there is one bonus track. We're not going to talk about the acoustic version of Arrows very much. Just go listen to the standard version on the album. I would argue it's an essential Machine Head song. I would add it into that category with like even some of their best work.
Yeah, I would agree. Quick aside though about acoustic versions of metal songs, I'm a little bit hit or miss when it comes to them. Like unless it's a really good arrangement, they don't usually land for me.
For me, I just kind of can't help but go, I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it, but I don't outright dislike it either.
Yeah, like if I stumble upon one by accident, I'm sure I will like it just fine. But like you said, I wouldn't choose to listen to one.
Yeah, especially just because, again, the impact that this song has closing out the record. But one of the bonus tracks, though, This is probably Machine Head's only proper instrumental song, Exteroception, which I personally like to call Rob Flynn got drunk and listened to a lot of Unearth.
Yeah, that's accurate. If you didn't know that this was a Machine Head track, it does come off like a random Unearth session that just kind of fell out the back of a truck.
Not even so much out the back of a truck, more just like, again, Rob really was digging the guitar harmonies on Thy Will Be Done or Zombie Autopilot and was just going, let me write that, but better. And then just adds a Meshuggah riff in the middle.
Which I'm totally okay with.
Hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah, I mean, you asked me where I would put this in the context of the record, which I feel like the band was hyping that they were recording an instrumental for this album, but I kind of don't even feel like it should be part of the track listing even.
Hard to disagree with that. I like the best I could come up with is maybe somewhere in the middle, but I don't know.
I just kind of said, have this be the Machine Head's back, get used to it track. Just not even have it be part of the record. Just have it be like, yeah, Machine Head's back. We're here to stay. See you in 4 years when we release the next fucking record.
Fair.
I have nothing else to really add about this. Just this is a genuinely really great album, and it's probably one of my favorite records of the year, and also probably my biggest surprise of the year, which is so funny to say about my fifth favorite band of all time behind Metallica, Rush, Lamb of God, and Trivium. But yeah, the fact this album was as great as it was, it's one of the best things to come out all year.
Now, are you saying this is a surprise just because it's coming off of Catharsis?
I would think so, mostly just because the fact that that album could have been so much better than what it was, the fact that it alienated the two main great songwriters that brought us four of the best albums in all of heavy music, and that only 5 of the songs were genuinely good, and then the first song with the new lineup is fucking do or die. Yeah, 3 years ago, I would not have been as looking forward to this record, but the fact that we get something as good as this, yeah, Machine Head's back.
Yeah, I have to agree with what you said. It was a journey to get to the point where I could say, holy shit, I'm excited for a new Machine Head record. And then we get here and it's like, yeah, this album is awesome.
It's a great fucking feeling. It took me back to when I was just waiting in front of my computer for Under the Locust to leak onto the internet. Favorite tracks. Let's not even divide up singles and non-singles, just favorite tracks, period. Any of them. All fair game.
Okay, I'm going to try to narrow it down to 3, but if I have to push it to 5, so be it.
I say pick all of them.
I honestly, okay, the one at the bottom is for sure My Hands Are Empty.
Yeah, ditto. Not even that it's bad, it's just that the fact that this is the lead-off single and it's as tepid as it is, I kind of can't, and without knowing that it was a part of a bigger concept, I can't help but go, I can only just 2 years later appreciate it a little bit more.
I think like listening to the album as a whole, it's like, okay, fine, you can stay because you're important, but I wouldn't choose to listen to it on its own.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, okay, I'm not going to try to put these in any order, except for number 1 is Arrows and Words from the Sky, because I think that is a masterpiece. But the other 4 would be Slaughter the Martyr, Choke on the Ashes of Your Hate, Kill Thy Enemies, and Rotten.
Okay. I am going Slaughter the Martyr, Become the Firestorm, Unhollowed, Bloodshot, and Arrows and Words from the Sky.
We had some differences. That's good.
And also, just for extra homework, listen to Exteroception if you want to hear some badass twin guitar work and Meshuggah riffs.
And listen to Iconoclast, especially if
Decapitated kick ass.
Yeah, if that's your introduction to Decapitated, then welcome.
Yeah, enjoy jamming Spheres of Madness off of Nihility over and over again. But man, how good is it to have a great Machine Head record again? I miss this feeling.
Yeah, I am just ecstatic for this.
Oh, if they come to Edmonton again, I will more than gladly go see them. Ugh, man, just go see Machine Head live. Having seen them twice, go see them live. They're badass live.
Yeah, I definitely need to seek out a show if they're playing anywhere near me. But yeah, that does it for this episode. I think somewhere down the line we will have to do, if not a top 10, then just a general best of 2022 discussion, because we were fed this year.
Oh yeah, like my favorite records of the year, I'm trying to crack 100 even, just with the amount of quality records we've been getting this year. Like Decapitated, Fit for an Autopsy, Shadow of Intent, Ibaraki, Halo Effect, Porcupine Tree, Machine Head, Soilwork, Creator, Meshuggah. I basically gave you guys my top 10 at this rate. If Metallica puts out an album in December, I will be like, yeah, best year for metal ever.
You know what? That band loves to surprise us, so who knows? But until then, Nick, where can everyone find you online?
Super Saiyan, Death Metal God on Instagram. I post album covers, vinyl, horror movies, video games, whatever I feel in the mood for, really. So go shoot me some follows and some binge likes. I mod for Catherine Isabel, actress from horror classics, and yes, I will say classics because they are. Get over it. Ginger Snaps, American Mary, great TV series like Hannibal, The Order. Also some really good Canadian indie movies. If you haven't seen them yet, go follow her on Twitch. She's not streaming at the moment, but when she's back, well, you know where to find me.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/Coach K42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on Podchaser, on the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. That'll do it for this episode of Renegade Jukebox. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.